Former Charleston County prosecutors, now lawyers, Culver Kidd, Ted Corvey, and Chad Simpson have their own law firm, and they're helping people with issues with civil litigation, criminal litigation, and family court litigation. I sit down one-on-one with the three gentlemen for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview Friday on iHeartRadio. Wow, good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Yes, indeed. Culver Kidd, Ted Corvey, and Chad Simpson. And obviously you guys have founded Kidd, Corvey and Simpson here on James Island, a law firm. And from what I understand on Twitter, you all obviously lawyers, that is, focusing on civil, criminal, and family court litigation, founded by former Charleston County prosecutors with a combined 30 years of experience. As we sit here right now, what is it like to be you all?
It's scary if you ask me. You know, we both kind of gave up the steady check and jumped out here into the private world, and it's been interesting and thrilling too, quite frankly. And it's it's a different world when we're helping people the way we are now, and it's been a lot of fun. We've been enjoying it.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, how about you?
Well, it's just really exciting. You know, we were all in the solicitor's office for a long time, very comfortable with what we were doing and felt good about that, but at the same time, a new challenge and a new venture is really exciting. So I'm just really excited about our future.
Yeah, it's a real thrill. And Ted hit it right on the head when you go from, really feeling like you know what you're doing out into this new world of taking on legal issues from a totally new perspective. It's a lot of fun. It's different kind of issues come up, and we're really enjoying it so far.
And I went on your website, kcslawfirm.com, and it says this: Kidd, Corvey and Simpson was founded in 2018 to fill the market's need for a firm with quality experienced litigators, not simply law school graduates. What else does the market need right now in your mind?
Well, to me, that really kind of hits it. It's often surprising to people who don't practice in law every day that trial lawyers make up a pretty small percentage of actual lawyers. And, people define that term differently. But however you define it, the attorneys here, the three partners here, we're lucky and honored enough in that role as prosecutors to just have countless hours of trial experience in serious, big cases with a lot of press attention and serious stakes involved for the community and the people of Charleston. And so really what we think distinguishes us three from other law firms that are out there is that experience that we were honored to get as prosecutors. And all three of us very comfortable in front of juries. A trial is not always the best avenue to take or in a client's best interest, but you've got to have an attorney who, if it is in their best interest, is ready to go. Because a lot of people are surprised that, lawyers that have been practicing for years, and you really dig into their background, and maybe they've tried a jury trial before. But the people at this table, like we advertise, we've got 30 years, and that's 30 years of in the trenches trial experience that we can bring to the table, and we're really proud of that. And we really think that's what distinguishes our firm from some of our competition out there.
And how's that competition right now?
Well, I think the competition is, it's interesting when you come to this side. The competition's not really as to the law. The competition is marketing. Yeah. And that's what we've sort of learned as we've opened this venture, is that we can handle the legal issues people bring us, and we feel like we can handle them as well as anyone out there. The hard part, the challenge that we're facing is how do we get people to know we're here and know what we bring to the table. And that's really what, when you talk about the competition we're facing, it's the marketing machine that other lawyers and other law firms have behind them. That's really the competition that we're facing, because we can handle the legal side of it.
Ted?
I agree. I mean, that has been, in our old job, cases were just assigned to us, and we got them, and there wasn't competition from that respect. But coming out here, we have to entice people to come through our doors, and once they do, convince them that we're the right people for them to hire. I think we are, like Culver and Chad said, we definitely have the legal ability to, I think, handle anything that would come in, but the question is, as a new law firm, why us? And from our perspective, like Chad was saying, I think our vast trial experience and all the other sort of experience that we've had in the solicitor's office prepared us very well to do that. So the question really is just, how do we get more clients to come in the door, and once they are here, convey to them what we can offer.
And obviously you talk about 30 years of legal experience in litigation. And this might be a silly question, but how many trials have you guys covered combined?
Ooh, wow, that would be a tough question to answer, and we should probably go back and count that. But I have to imagine combined, it's got to be, if you count, it's got to be over 100. What do you think? I mean, you're talking some of the biggest headlines in the Low Country in the last 20 years. Slager, Roof, Caitman, dog abuse case that Ted handled. David Meggett, who was a former NFL star, Culver and I took the trial. So, we, again, just so honored by Solicitor Wilson for that trust that she put in us. And we, thanks to that, we find ourselves now in a career where that question, it's amazing that question's hard to answer because it's been so many that I don't think a lot of us have a set number of exactly how many trials we've handled in our career.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's hard for me to say personally how many I've tried. I was at the solicitor's office since 2008, so 10 years, and I probably average somewhere between 3 and 5 at least per year. So, that's 30 some odd at least that I would think that I've tried over there. And like Chad said, and it's not, we're not talking about little magistrate level trials, from, cases that, the Mother's Day shooting or the, the quarterback at the Citadel, his burglary and sexual assault case. I mean, there's a countless number of high profile cases that we've all been involved in, that I think really set us apart.
Dave?
Well, I agree. I mean, just like they've said, we've been involved in really high stakes cases and had to deal with that pressure, and all three of us have excelled under that pressure. And so, I think there's no better predictor of future outcomes than past results. And I think all of us are willing to put in the work and have the ability to do that, and we're excited to do it. That's, I think, why we're all here.
And you talk about Charleston County Solicitor Scarlett Wilson, a nice service solicitor. When you look at her right now to where you were working for her, what comes to mind?
I think we would all agree we had a great experience there. She was a wonderful boss. She was a wonderful mentor. And we leave with nothing but the fondness, or at least, I can say that for myself. I leave with nothing but the fondness of thoughts about my experiences there. But as any sort of government lawyer, you reach a ceiling over there with what you can do, and it's a tough work, and you kind of get burnt out with it over time. And we were kind of all felt a common bond in what we did over there and the results we had. And we've just looked to take that experience and our assets and move them together in a new direction.
So, what can we expect from your law firm right now?
Well, right now we expect to grow. We're here on the corner of Camp and Folly Road, and these are our humble beginnings. But I think I think the sky's the limit for us, because, like I said, I expect great things from my two partners next to me. I think that we are going to be on the forefront of this community for a long time. And I think we're going to grow and grow and grow. And I think, people will be impressed with where we end up looking back in 5 or 10 years from now.
What is the state of the criminal justice system right now in your mind?
Locally, there are a lot of changes going on, and it's getting a lot of attention. It's getting a lot of attention, reform-minded attention on a national level. It's really important, and what we're seeing here in Charleston, thanks in part to the leadership of Solicitor Wilson and others, is a lot of that attention has become localized in our community. But change is always scary, and if you're paying attention to the criminal justice system here locally, you'll just see that there's a lot of trial and error going on, a lot of changes with the docketing system, and that's caused some anxiety on the part of some people. But again, I think the intention behind it is reform minded, and so we're seeing how some of that plays out in the real world right now. But it's certainly an interesting. The criminal justice side of things right now, it was a fascinating time to be involved in that because of all the changes and all the reforms going on.
I think that's another reason why our experience is important. because there's a lot of lawyers out there who don't necessarily have their finger on the pulse of the criminal justice system in Charleston, and it has been changing rapidly, especially over the last 18 months or so. And I would venture to say that there's a lot of lawyers who don't really know how to navigate that new system, because the way cases have been called to trial and docketed for pleas has completely changed over the last year and a half. And control has been taken away really from the solicitor's office and turned over to the court. And a lot of attorneys who don't participate in that system on a daily basis aren't necessarily equipped to deal with that system effectively.
Okay, what do these lawyers do have their fingers on as far as the pulse?
Well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, there's a lot of really good criminal lawyers out there, so I'm not saying we're the only ones capable of doing it. But I think there is definitely a upper tier bar of the criminal defense law lawyers, and there are some who I think still do a lot of cases that might be a little bit overmatched. So it's hard to say, why some are better than others, but there's definitely a division in the bar from a quality representation.
What's your definition of the criminal defense and justice system, really?
Well, I mean, like they were saying, we've had a lot of upheavals. I mean, nationally, we look at some of the reform that's going on. I think that's good and important work that I hope really continues, and we don't just see some superficial changes and then it's pushed to the back burner for the next 20 years. I think we've needed some change for a long time, but with change also comes growing pains. And, some stuff gets tried and doesn't work out, and then you tweak it and keep moving forward. And so I think a lot of that's important, but staying involved in that process and staying on top of the changes and being aware of the changes, I think are very, very important, particularly on our side now, taking on criminal defense work. You need to have the relationships with the court, with the prosecutor's office, and with the system as a whole to really be able to effectively navigate it. But I guess to your overarching question, the state of criminal justice, I think it's looking brighter now than it has in a long time, because I think there's a lot of important light being shown on it, and I think a lot of steps being taken to make reforms to hopefully improve the process for everyone. And so I'm excited to see where that goes in the weeks and months and years to come.
Let me get back here to your law firm, Corvey and Simpson. What are your closing arguments as far as trying to get people to come to you?
Real world demonstrative experience that we can point to, actual cases. Lawyer advertisement gets sort of silly, as everybody knows. The hawk law and all that stuff like that. And so what you want to do, I would think, people need legal guidance when they're in trouble, and it can be anything, going through a divorce, which can be incredibly traumatic for someone, to criminal charges. To a civil injury or something of that nature. You've got all this advertisement that if you really scrutinize, a lot of it's really vague. A lot of it's just, some of it's very cheesy, and even some of it's just very good. It's still vague. And what we really have, and I think a lot of law firms don't, is specific demonstrations of where we've succeeded and performed in a courtroom. And again, it's all about that real world specific examples of these are the times where our community has been in trouble and people have been in strife, and we are the ones that have stepped up, and we are the ones that have taken that case all the way through to a jury trial. And if you're in a situation as a person needing legal help, and in your situation, your best bet for you calls for a jury trial, you got three guys right here, that can step up to the plate and handle that for you. Maybe that's not the best thing for you, but we're going to talk. We're going to be there with you every step of the way and giving you that guidance. And I really think pointing to that real world experience is what can set us apart from a lot of the other law firms.
And I think that value isn't just in the jury trial. I think that value comes into play with every negotiation. Just the ability, knowing that we can take it there, in negotiating with insurance adjusters and negotiating with defendants, and negotiating with prosecutors. They know that we're ready, willing, and able to go there if necessary, and I think it gives us a lot of leverage in negotiating on the front end as well. And we're not just criminal defense lawyers now. We're personal injury lawyers, we're family lawyers. The breadth of our practice is expanding, and we plan on excelling in those areas as well.
And I would say just, outside of the practical trial experience and considerable other experiences we've had throughout our careers, outside of that, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that we weren't also going to be able to offer just really compassionate and considered representation to people. Because a lot of times, yes, someone has a legal issue, but oftentimes you'll find in someone's life when they're going through a legal issue, there's other things going on too. And so I know myself and Culver and Chad are well equipped to handle all of that. And, we're honest, very hardworking people who have represented our communities for a long time, and we want to continue to do that, but now on a much more personal level with people facing a variety of issues.
That is so great to hear. Well, Culver Kidd, Ted Corvey, and Chad Simpson, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Thank you, Quintin. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, you're welcome.